Next on Nightside, crowded crosswalks and busy streets creating danger in downtown Myrtle Beach.
A Mexican healing herb being sold here for a very different purpose. And
a big night in the Lowcountry in Charleston as the new Cooper River Bridge is lit up for the very first time. Hey everybody, good evening. Thanks so much for joining your local team for Nightside. I'm Jim Heath.
And I'm Allison Floyd. At least once a day on average, Myrtle Beach police are asked to respond to a call of a pedestrian hit by a vehicle.
Now, most of the time, people hit by cars are not injured, but 3 times last year and once already this year, the pedestrian was killed. WPDE's Kyle Granger is live in Myrtle Beach tonight with the story. Good evening, Kyle.
Good evening, Jim. Police say that most pedestrian-related accidents are a result of someone doing something illegal. And that's because police say they're not using these pedestrian crosswalks. There are several of them set up throughout the city, and they're not using these, and that's despite the millions of dollars the city has spent to make crossing the street safer.
Crossing the road isn't easy, and police admit...
So it's dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Charmin Walls and Martha Gentry know that firsthand. They were almost hit by a car while crossing Ocean Boulevard.
Our people are idiots. They don't know how to drive. And really, nobody watches what they're doing or what the other cars in front of them are doing.
You have to be really, really careful, even when you got the red light and the walk sign.
But police say oftentimes accidents happen because pedestrians don't follow the law, which says if you are in a reasonable walking distance to a crosswalk, that you should walk there. Yet we found people not following that law. People crossing the street wherever was convenient for them.
Cars do not always have to give you or yield the right-of-way to you. Just because you step off the curb does not mean it's going to be safe, and doesn't mean that they have to stop for you.
And police admit that Ocean Boulevard is one of the more dangerous streets. That's because of the limited amount of crosswalks and a large number of pedestrian traffic. They encourage you to especially watch your kids, something Gentry and Walls admit is a challenge.
Depends on how excited he gets about where he's going next. And I think that's true with a lot of children that are around here.
Now, when you're walking, police remind you to use the sidewalk, and if you're on a street or a road that doesn't have a sidewalk, police remind you to walk on the shoulder of the road or as close to the shoulder of the road as possible, and that should help you, Jim, get there just a little safer. We're live in Myrtle Beach tonight. We'll send it back to you.
Very good, Kyle Granger. Thank you very much.
Turn our attention now to the weather to check in with meteorologist Vaughn Delbridge. Vaughn?
Well, it looks like we do have some activity going on outside, Allison. All right, here we go. Well, if we look outside, it's all dry outside tonight. We have temperatures in the 70s right now. It's 75 degrees there in Socastee and 71 in Florence, 73 there showing up in Lake City. Overnight tonight, we're going to see temperatures pretty much around the same numbers with mostly cloudy skies out there. And then as we head through today, tomorrow, it looks like we're going to see more of the same with mostly cloudy skies and scattered showers and storms developing later in the day tomorrow. It looks like daytime highs will reach the upper 80s and lower 90s out there. We have a lot of information to relate to you about Hurricane Emily. I'll give you all those details, plus a look at the 7-day forecast coming up shortly.
All right, Vaughn, we'll see in a few. Thank you. Parents, be on the lookout tonight. An herb being used by some to induce psychoactive effects is being sold right here in the Grand Strand legally. It's called salvia, and according to the Drug Enforcement Administration, it is not a controlled substance in the United States, but it's listed by the agency as a drug of concern. Now, when using salvia, reported effects range from illusions, hallucinations, and even loss of consciousness. A local behavioral health worker tells us he has not seen any salvia cases yet, but he does not like the fact that it's being sold here.
My guess is it's going to be one of those drugs that enhance what's already out there causing us problems. Mixing it with ecstasy, mixing it with opiates, mixing it with other drugs.
Some states have taken steps already to regulate the sale of salvia in the United States, and a few countries like Australia and Italy have already banned it.
An Horry County man will spend the next decade behind bars for killing a man more than a year ago. Adam Jackson was charged with the murder of 21-year-old Jesse Grissett, who was shot twice. The trial began Tuesday, and this afternoon the jury found Jackson guilty of voluntary manslaughter. Jackson will have to serve 85% of his 10-year sentence before he's eligible for parole.
Officials have released surveillance video from a church bus explosion in Marion County earlier this week. You can see the explosion in the upper left part of your screen right here. The bus was headed from Union, South Carolina for a vacation at the beach. The driver stopped for gas at the hotspot on Highway 378 and was filling up when the bus exploded. The driver had to undergo surgery for burns. He's expected to be out of the hospital soon. A few kids were on the bus at the time. They received only minor injuries.
Columbia police are investigating the shooting of a sports radio personality. Chris Thompson was shot about 5:30 this morning as he arrived for work. Officials say he was getting out of his car in the radio station's parking lot when two men yelled something at him before firing shots. Police believe the motive may have been robbery and are searching for the two men. Thompson is expected to make a full recovery.
Prescription errors are becoming more common at pharmacies across the country. 1 in 20 patients are handed the wrong prescription, and while some of those errors are caught in time, unfortunately, that is not always the case. ABC's Elizabeth Leamy has the story tonight.
Corella Laseg says her daughter Sierra's prescription was for hyperactivity.
She just laid there and, she started twitching a little bit, just like little things, and her eyes just go up.
But this CVS pharmacy in Brockton, Massachusetts gave Sierra a bottle of heart medication intended for someone else.
She held it in front of her, reading it to me, explaining what I'm supposed to do for her.
Later, the pharmacist caught the mistake and called Laseg, but her daughter had already taken the wrong drug. In a written statement, CVS apologized to the family and added, "We are deeply committed to patient safety and work tirelessly to eliminate the possibility of errors." But pharmacy errors are surprisingly common. According to the Institute of Medicine, there are as many as 7,000 deaths annually in the U.S., and as many as 5% of the prescriptions filled each year are incorrect. That's 150 million medication mix-ups. Drug companies and doctors also share some of the blame. Similar-sounding names for very different drugs can cause confusion. For instance, there's Celebrex for arthritis, and Cerebex for seizures, Lamisil for fungal infections, and Lamictal for epilepsy. A doctor's bad handwriting only adds to the mix-up. Experts say the best remedy may be better communication between pharmacists and patients. Little Sierra was one of the lucky ones. Today, she's at home and healthy.
So question is, what can you do to protect yourself against medication mix-ups? Well, first of all, ask your doctor for a sample of the drug so you can get familiar with the size, shape, and the color. Or you could look it up in the physician's desk reference or have them do that for you so you can see what it looks like. And finally, ask the doctor and the pharmacy what the drug is used for, side effects, etc., and compare their answers. Elizabeth Leamy, ABC News.
A Conway Baptist congregation wants to tear down its old church, but first they have to get rid of the thousands of bats and bat droppings in the church's attic. The congregation at Cherry Hill Baptist Church found out recently that 2,000 to 3,000 bats are living in the attic of the old church. Next week, a biologist at Coastal Carolina University will help relocate the bats and get rid of the bat guano, which has to be removed because it's a health hazard.
There's a fungus called histoplasmosis, which will reside in the guano, and that can create lung problems if it's inhaled. That does need to be cleaned up before the building is demolished.
The bats will be relocated by trapping a few of them and taking them to new bat houses near the Granger generating plant. The bat houses will be smeared with guano, which should attract the rest of the animals.
Well, in less than 48 hours, the largest cable-stayed bridge in North America will open right here in South Carolina, linking Charleston and Mount Pleasant. Tonight, officials shot off these fireworks in anticipation of the opening of the new Cooper River Bridge. They used 20,000 pounds of fireworks, about 30 minutes worth, at a cost of $250,000. After the fireworks was the official lighting ceremony for the $632 million Ravenel Bridge. Saturday morning, a dedication ceremony will be held. After that, the bridge will officially be open to vehicle, pedestrian, and bicycle traffic.
6 months after firing the master developer for the Myrtle Beach Pavilion project, the Downtown Redevelopment Corporation has selected a new developer. The design firm is LS3P out of Charleston, and the economic partner is Economic Research Associates. The same firms were hired by Burroughs and Chapin to redevelop the Myrtle Square Mall site. The DRC's executive director says he's developing a scope of services proposal to send to LS3P. If they agree on everything, the hope is that by next month, BNC will enter into an agreement with LS3P.
This is WPDE News Channel 15 Nightside with Allison Floyd, Jim Heath, weather with meteorologist Ed Piotrowski, and sports with Rich Grandpanis. Coming up next on Nightside.
A somber day around the world as the deadly London bombings are remembered.
Plus, several people injured when a former supermarket collapses.
Those stories and much more when this Thursday Nightside returns.
You asked me to do some research on the Chrysler Group?
I'm waiting.
They have their most award-winning and freshest lineup ever. 12 vehicles with 5-star frontal crash test rating and projected to retain their value better than GM or Ford.
Yada, yada, yada. You forgot the most important part of all, the deal.
It's Employee Pricing Plus, our employee discount, plus up to an extra $3,500 cash allowance.
So I'd say if you can find a better car, buy it.
Couldn't have said it better myself, kid.
I'm Johnny Carrabba.
I'm Damien.
Our name being on the door means a lot.
They're not just talking about a restaurant, they're talking about my family name.
You know, even on the menu, we have dishes like Polo Rosa Maria, named after my mother.
Actually, grilling is a big part of the Carrabba's menu because grilling is very, very Italian.
If your dad was a football coach, you were into football. Well, our parents and our grandparents, they were into food. You know, my grandfather, he loved my grandmother. I think he loved their cooking a little bit more. Carrabba's may be the best Italian food you ever tasted.
A pre-owned vehicle for just $99 a month. Where in the world will you find a deal like that? At Myrtle Beach Chevrolet, the #1 dealer on the South Carolina coast. A fleet of cars as low as $99 a month. And a choice lot of vehicles under $2,000. No credit is no problem with Myrtle Beach Chevrolet's guaranteed financing. Payments as low as $99 a month with guaranteed financing. Nowhere else in the world will you find deals like these, but at Myrtle Beach Chevrolet. Myrtle Beach Chevrolet, the world's best deal.
Myrtle Beach Chevrolet.
Chevy's proud to have the best-selling full-size SUVs 5 years in a row. Like Tahoe with best-in-class fuel economy. We've always broken the rules. Now we're rewriting them. With the Chevy employee discount for everyone. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. Now get an 05 Tahoe LS two-wheel drive with an MSRP of $36,765 for a Chevy employee discount price of $28,273. See your Carolina Chevy dealer.
You're watching WPDE News Channel 15. Live from the studios of WPDE, you're watching Nightside.
The people of Britain were joined by sympathizers around the world today to remember last week's deadly bombing.
The memorials were accompanied by fresh news from the police investigation, including a picture of one of the terrorists minutes before he struck. Here's ABC's Lama Hassan.
A sea of people gathered in London's Trafalgar Square, united in grief. It was a day for prayers, poetry and reflection, as thousands remembered those who perished and the injured. It is images like these that show the staunch solidarity among the people of Britain, the resilience of this nation, and it's also a message to the terrorists.
In good times and bad, we've been able to fall back on the richness that all this brings to our city. Those qualities give London an inner strength.
Earlier, the people of London were united by a bond of silence. In an unprecedented move, Queen Elizabeth came out onto the palace forecourt and joined the nation. And across the world too, from Iraq to Paris, a moment of silence. Scotland Yard says it is moving at a fast pace.
All of the information that is being gathered is being assessed and investigated.
They did release this grainy image. A surveillance picture taken of Hasib Hussein at Luton train station on his way to London. Hussein is seen carrying a backpack. He's been identified as the number 30 bus bomber. Investigators want to know who committed the attacks, who was supporting them, who trained them and encouraged them. Police have received more than 500 witness statements, and they have more than 5,000 surveillance tapes to watch. But they say the detailed forensic tests carried out so far have provided them with vital clues. This will take many months of intensive investigation. Lama Hassan, ABC News, London.
The death toll tonight from the bombings now stands at 53.
Taking a look around the nation now, a former supermarket in the process of being torn down collapsed this morning in New York, showering pedestrians with rubble. A baby is among the 5 people injured in that collapse. Firefighters and emergency crews worked for hours to clear the debris that covered the sidewalk and much of the street. Officials have not yet figured out why it happened.
The fire's out, but this afternoon it came within feet of burning the homes of residents in a California neighborhood. What started out as a small 2-acre fire quickly spread and covered 95 acres. But thanks to firefighters and water-dropping helicopters, no homes were destroyed. Look at that there. There are wildfires all across the western part of the country tonight.
In Texas, firefighters battled a huge warehouse fire that destroyed the building. While the exact cause of the fire is still under investigation, officials believe it was sparked by a lightning strike. No injuries have been reported.
And a Pittsburgh man now facing criminal charges after performing some of these stunts while hanging out of an SUV. The 20-year-old admits that his stunts are dangerous, but says he's never been hurt. He also says it's all about his future and becoming a stuntman. His two friends are facing conspiracy charges for driving the car and videotaping those stunts.
Wow. Not going to even say a word.
Yeah, no, I was going to say something. No, I wouldn't even. That was kind of dumb.
Let's move on to weather. Check in with Vaughn, and after some storms, a pretty nice night, Vaughn.
That's right, Allison. We are looking at a dry night, just some clouds out there. Otherwise, we have a great evening outside there on Ocean Boulevard near the Pavilion, and looks like it's going to be another hot one. I'll give you all those details after the break.
You asked me to do some research on the Chrysler Group?
I'm waiting.
They have their most award-winning and freshest lineup ever. 12 vehicles with 5-star frontal crash test rating and projected to retain their value better than GM or Ford.
Yada, yada, yada. You forgot the most important part of all, the deal.
It's Employee Pricing Plus, our employee discount plus up to an extra $3,500 cash allowance.
So I'd say if you can find a better car, buy it.
Couldn't have said it better myself, kid.
Calling the Mach 5. Come in, Speed. Trixie, calling the Mach 5.
I'm in the middle of a race, Trixie. Don't talk to me now.
Speed, listen to me. The bridge is out ahead. You're in extreme danger.
The bridge is out?
Don't worry, Speed. I have good news.
Tell me, Trixie.
I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
What's it gonna be? Yum, chili cheese dogs. Oh, chili cheese dogs, I love them. Oh, but I want pizza too. Wait, I know. I'll have both. Oh, chili cheese dog pizza, here I come.
The Chili Cheese Dog Pizza, available for a limited time.
California pizza. The perfect pizza picky people love.
A pre-owned vehicle for just $99 a month. Where in the world will you find a deal like that? At Myrtle Beach Chevrolet, the #1 dealer on the South Carolina coast. A fleet of cars as low as $99 a month. And a choice lot of vehicles under $2,000. No credit is no problem with Myrtle Beach Chevrolet's guaranteed financing. Payments as low as $99 a month with guaranteed financing. Nowhere else in the world will you find deals like these, but at Myrtle Beach Chevrolet. Myrtle Beach Chevrolet, the world's best deal.
Myrtle Beach Chevrolet.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Myrtle Beach Chevrolet. Visit us 24/7 at myrtlebeachchevrolet.com.
This is WPDE News Channel 15 weather with Chief Meteorologist Ed Piotrowski.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Vaughn Delbridge in for Ed tonight. Well, it looks like we're going to see a very nice evening coming up for us, but it's going to get hot again tomorrow. And that's just the tip of the iceberg because as we head through the weekend, it's going to get even warmer. Let's talk about your temperatures now with Live Pinpoint WeatherNet since we don't have any rain showing up anywhere outside. It's 80 degrees now in North Myrtle Beach and 79 in Myrtle Beach, 77 there for you in Georgetown. As we head inland, we also have temperatures in the mid-70s. It's about 71 in Florence and 72 in Lake City, although Socastee and Loris, you're at 74 right now, Conway at 75. Here are some other temperatures for you from around the Carolinas. 77 seems to be a popular number right along the coast, showing up in Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, New Bern, and then over into Lumberton. Florence there at the airport, 72, 73 back in Columbia. Now, around the southeast, here is the big story, and it's been the big story for several days. That's what's left of Hurricane Dennis there. It's spinning in the Midwest now. You can clearly see that counterclockwise circulation affecting almost every state east of the Mississippi River. That's why we've seen those pesky afternoon showers and thunderstorms popping up around here. That circulation around that area of low pressure is fueling all of these storms, all that warm, moist air that's moving up from the Gulf of Mexico. And with a little sunshine, That's what causes those thunderstorms to pop out there in the afternoon. And as we head through tomorrow, it's pretty much the same thing because this area of low pressure is pretty much stationary for us for the next several days. As we head through tomorrow, the same story, mostly cloudy during parts of the day, and then during the afternoon, showers and thunderstorms developing. For Saturday, the area of low pressure takes a little jog back to the west, so we should only see about a 20% chance of showers, so the air could be slightly drier out there, but it's still going to be hot because an area of high pressure off the coast is going to allow even warmer air to move in here, so our temperatures could actually get 2 or 3 degrees warmer than on Friday. Now here's your tropical satellite. This is Hurricane Emily, now our second major hurricane of the 05 season. We will continue to see this storm push on off to the west. And as for right now, it's not really affecting any major islands. We did have a lot of warnings in effect for parts of the Caribbean. Now we're starting to see this storm get more and better organized. It could possibly even become a Category 4 storm. Right now we're dealing with a Category 3 with winds of 115 miles per hour. They've been sustained at that number for the last several hours. And of course, the storm is moving to the west-northwest at 20. And if you're plotting along at home with us, it's about 13.6 north and 67.5 west, and that's 375 miles southeast of Santo Domingo, right in the island of Hispaniola in Dominican Republic, just right there on the coast. So we do see this storm continuing to move as we head through the weekend. This storm is really going to affect Jamaica, and then it's going to continue to move through the Caribbean, over the Yucatan, and then possibly back out into the Gulf of Mexico before reaching Mexico. Now for tonight, here's what we're expecting here at home. 1 or 2 showers of storms could still pop up out there. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies and humid conditions. For tomorrow morning, expect partly to mostly cloudy skies with a stray shower possible. Temperatures reaching the lower 80s quickly. For tomorrow afternoon, expect mostly cloudy skies and temperatures in the lower 90s. Here's your 7-day forecast now. For the weekend, things look like they're going to be very hot out there. We're going to see temperatures in the lower 90s, and when you factor in that humidity, it's going to feel even warmer out there. And of course, that's been the story for us: heat, haze, and humidity.
Very humid.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Vaughn.
Well, from its first airing last fall, Desperate Housewives caught fire with TV fans. It became a big hit show.
And today, Emmy voters showed they agree with the viewers, awarding the new series 15 nominations. ABC's George Pinocchio has the desperate details.
I look okay? Oh, Susan, you look so gorgeous. Doesn't she, Edie? It's a bit much.
Positioning itself in the comedy category proved to be a smart move for TV's Desperate Housewives. The show is nominated for 15 Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Series. It's competing against Arrested Development, Everybody Loves Raymond, Scrubs, and Will and Grace. Along with nods for Best Series, Writing, Directing, and Costumes, Desperate Housewives also earned Best Actress nods for 3 of its stars: Marcia Cross, Terry Hatcher, and Felicity Huffman. Previous winner, Everybody Loves Raymond's Patricia Heaton, is back on the list, along with Malcolm in the Middle's 6-time nominee, Jane Kaczmarek. Eva Longoria is the one lead housewife who did not make the cut this year.
I will say that maybe the person who got her slot was Jane Kaczmarek, who had the most original Emmy campaign because they listed her as the original Desperate Housewife.
The Best Comedy Actor nominees are Jason Bateman for Arrested Development, Zach Braff, Scrubs, and previous winners Eric McCormack for Will and Grace, Ray Romano, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Tony Shalhoub, Monk. ABC's other freshman hit, Lost, earned a nod in the Outstanding Drama Series category, along with Deadwood, 6 Feet Under, 24, and The West Wing. Last year's Dramatic Actor winner James Spader is nominated again for Boston Legal. He's joined by 7-time nominee Kiefer Sutherland for 24, and 3 first-timers in this category: Huff's Hank Azaria, Hugh Laurie of House, and Deadwood's tough-talking Ian McShane. Up for Best Dramatic Actress:
Patricia Arquette, Medium. Glenn Close, The Shield. Frances Conroy, 6 Feet Under. Jennifer Garner, Alias. And Mariska Hargitay, Law & Order Special Victims Unit.
This is George Pinocchio reporting.
ABC with some great programming this year. HBO made-for-TV movies, by the way, Warm Springs and The Life and Death of Peter Sellers earned 16 nominations, the most this year. The Emmys will be handed out on September 18th in L.A.
Should be great. Baseball's second season's underway, Rich.
Yes, Allison, the Braves are back at it. Highlights of Atlanta and the New York Mets from Shea. Plus, Tiger Woods is back to work at the British Open. What an opening round. Highlights from St. Andrews when we come back.
Exclusive Pinpoint Weather is sponsored by McDonald's.
This week at your hometown proud IGA, save on whole smoked picnic 79 cents a pound, seedless white grapes 98 cents a pound, and it's buy one get one free. 16-ounce Muller spaghetti, 4 double rows of soft pack bath tissue, 12-pack of Pet Fudge bars, 1 dozen KJ Farm Grade A large eggs, and 11-ounce Lay's potato chips, all buy one get one free. Save this week at your hometown proud IGA.
Gonna get guaranteed low prices, IGA.
Shake that thing, miss. Kinda shake that thing, miss. Kinda shake that thing, miss. Kinda shake that thing, yo. Annabella, get busy. Just shake that booty non-stop when the beat drop. Just keep swinging and shake that thing, miss. Kinda shake that thing, yo. Annabella, shake.
Milk, shakes, hand-scooped real ice cream shakes and malts. New at Hardee's.
King Cadillac Buick Pontiac GMC's GM Employee Discount for Everyone program has been extended. What General Motors factory employees pay, you pay, less all rebates. King has the largest selection of Cadillacs, Buicks, Pontiacs, and GMC trucks in the Southeast. What you want, we got it.
What you want, baby, I got it.
With no haggling and no added fees, ever. The GM Employee Discount for Everyone program has been extended, but it ends August 1st at King.
Try Creek Rats for lunch. Enjoy delicious salads, grilled, blackened, or fried, scrumptious sandwiches, and the new craze, wraps. Dine inside or on the deck for a great view, great food, and the coldest drinks. Creek Rats on the waterfront, Merle's Inlet.
WPDE News Channel 15 Golf Tips is brought to you by MyrtleBeachGolfTrips.com. This is WPDE News Channel 15 Sports with Sports Director Rich Krampanis.
The Myrtle Beach Pelicans continue to see plenty of turnover on their roster. Following last night's game against Winston-Salem, Martin Prado and Sean White were called up to AA Mississippi. The duo joined Josh Burris, Chuck James, and Joey Devine as recent call-ups from Myrtle Beach to AA. Birds back at it against the Winston-Salem Warthogs at Coastal Federal Field. Bottom of the first, Michael Rosema drives it to the gap in center. Carl Lodenthal scores. Myrtle Beach would jump out to a 2-0 lead, but then it was all Winston-Salem from there. Travis Hinton, the liner to center. Winston-Salem rolls in this one. 12-3 is your final. The Birds lose at home tonight. To the majors, second half is underway. Braves at Shea against the New York Mets. And we have some defense. Ryan Langerhans in the fifth. Cliff Floyd going to do a little thievery. Goes into the foul area. It's a great catch. Chris Benson, the former Clemson Tiger, is happy, and it deserves another look. Great concentration by Floyd. Always got to be nervous when you go into a New York crowd, but he comes away with it. Seventh inning down 2-1. Adam LaRoche continues to swing a hot stick. Home run number 12 on the year, 54 RBI. It's 3-2 Braves in front, but the Mets would get the equalizer. Then in the eighth, Blaine Boyer makes a big mistake to Mike Piazza. That is brute strength the opposite way. 3-run homer, that's your ball game. 6-3, the Mets top the Braves. In 2000 at St. Andrews, Tiger Woods dominated the field with an amazing score of 19 under to win the British Open. Today, Tiger picked up right where he left off 5 years ago. A moment of silence at high noon to honor those part of the terrorist attacks in London. Jack Nicklaus playing in his final major, 65 years old, but Jack can still swing the golf club. Look at this shot on number 1. Gorgeous. And you knew what he was going to do from there. Nicklaus knocks it home for a birdie. He's 3 over, more than respectable to say the least. but tomorrow could be the final time we see him in competition, so you might want to check that out. He's one of the sport's all-time greats. Tiger Woods would agree, and he is on fire. Boy, does he love St. Andrews. There, the long birdie putt. Remember, in 2000, Tiger didn't hit an entire bunker shot the whole 4 rounds. He did find the bunker today, but it didn't matter. There's a birdie on 11. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Tiger Woods at 6 under par. Mark Hensby from Australia a shot back. A host of golfers at 4 under as well as 3 under as the first round is in the books at the British Open. In this week's edition of 15 Golf Tips, Carolina's PGA President Robert Harper gives us his take on the British Open and what to look out for this weekend at St. Andrews.
Well, Rich, I'll tell you, the British Open this week, excellent opportunity to watch the oldest of all the majors in St. Andrews. The old course, the oldest golf course in Scotland, will play havoc with the players this week if the weather picks up. So you might want to check with Ed on that. But what happens is you play 9 holes out, 9 holes back. The 118 bunkers that you have to play out that come into play, they're not like bunkers you see here in the U.S. Open or any of the other majors. These are really bunkers. You'll see the players being forced to hit backwards, sideways, just to get out and get in play. And if the wind picks up, I don't know, it could be anybody's event, but you know, as Nike says, look for Tiger. I think sentimentally I look for Jack Nicklaus hopefully to make the cut, make a move, because it's his last major, and Jack's been everything for golf.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a scene tomorrow. If Jack doesn't make the cut, the last to see him there on the bridge is going to be something else. And, you know, at the Barefoot Resort, they have a hole like that. We should go out there and play that.
That type bunker?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're going to go out there and hit some balls out of there.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, those
I'll
bunkers,
pick up and throw them out of those bunkers.
They used to make me nervous.
Yeah.
And then you just practice a little bit, and it's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Vaughn, how's the weather look like tomorrow?
Well, it's looking pretty much the way it did today, with temperatures near 80 degrees, a few clouds, and chance of showers and storms in the afternoons.
All right.
You just go out there and you stand in front of a wall and you just try to get up above it.
Pick it up and you throw it over. That's how you do it. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us tonight.
See you tomorrow at 6. Take care, everybody.
And you don't count the strings.
A pre-owned vehicle for just